Hello again. How have you been, guys? So today I am here to talk about new and exciting topics. Now, before I go into the new and exciting topics that I have to talk about today, last week we talked about a lot of grammar, and I asked you guys to send me questions if you have any doubt or whatsoever. So today we're going to see how this grammar plays a vital role in the English language. Now let's see how it goes. So what am I to talk about today? Yes, common mistakes in English language. Now, a lot of you know this. It's not enough, like I usually say, to know how to speak, but you also have to know how to write what you speak. So today, I'm going to be showing you some grammar that we use when we speak, but during writing, we tend to make mistakes while writing. So today, I want you to take your time, take out your pen and your papers and follow me on this joy ride. Okay? Now, for those of you who do not know me, my name remains Kingsley Eugene. Okay? So, let's see. Now, this is going to be part 1 because common mistakes in English language has a lot of variety. So we have a lot of things that we need to talk about. So we're going to talk about a lot of mistakes. We're going to be looking at technical skills, language structure. We'll be looking at everything that makes one know how to speak a language eloquently. Now, remember, guys, don't be fooled by someone's accent. Just because someone sounds nice or someone is an American or a native does not mean they are both making a grammatical blunder. But the skill to knowing how someone speaks well is also how they pay attention to their teeth and their commas. So today, we won't be talking about those teeth and commas. Okay, so right with me, let's talk about the new subjects. Now, what is the subject for today? Yes, we're going to be talking about it with the apostrophe and it without the apostrophe. Now, a lot of you would say, well, I know how to use this. Of course, a lot of you know how to use this. But the problem is not when you want to speak, it's the written part of English. I see a lot of people don't even know how to write it properly. So today we're going to be looking at those little things that makes it very cohesive. Okay, so when do I use it with apostrophe and when do I use it without the apostrophe? Okay, now before I go into what I have, I want to see what you think. Okay, so you tell me, when do you think we should use the it with apostrophe and when do you think we should use the it without the apostrophe? I'm listening. Yes. Anyone? Think about it. Because I know when I speak English, it doesn't show. But of course, when I want to write English, of course it shows. So this is the reason why you need to know the difference. So when do I use it without apostrophe and when do I use it with the apostrophe? So this is a very big little mistake, but a lot of people make this mistake a lot. And I can tell you this because I do a lot of editing myself. And I see a lot of this blunder. I'm like, okay, yeah, I do get it. So, yeah, so think about it. When do you think you use it? When do you think you shouldn't use it? So, I'm waiting, guys. Anyone? Okay, now let's take a ride to understand it with apostrophe and it without the apostrophe. Now, next, example mistake. So this mistake is that I'm going to show you now. It's an example of how a lot of people write this. That it's actually very it's a blunder. So yeah. So let's see the grammatical blunder here. Now watch this. The spider spun its web. It sounds so nice when someone speaks it, right? But then when I write it, then I put the apostrophe. Do you see there is a problem here? Okay, let's see. Next. It's a very beautiful web. Okay, so the spider spun its web. It's a very beautiful web. When I speak this, you couldn't see the difference because, of course, it's spoken English. Okay, that's why I tell people you don't need to sound great. You also need to write great, because sounding great alone doesn't make you a better language speaker. You need to know how to sound and how to write it. Okay, because listening to it like the spider spun its web and it's a very beautiful web, there is no difference. It sounds so nice, so lovely, so eloquent. But then when I write them, we could see the difference. Of course, a lot of people could not see this difference, but me, I could see this difference. So when you put this, it's a mistake, and I'm going to show you why it's a mistake. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Now, tip: it's without an apostrophe is the possessive version of a pronoun. Remember, a pronoun. What is a possession? Okay, this cell phone belongs to me. It belongs to me. Okay, so it has no apostrophe. Do you see? So this car belongs to me. It belongs to me. So we use it for things. So it for things and animals. So that's a possession. So in this case, it without the apostrophe is a possessive version of a pronoun. Okay. In the above example, we should use the possession it without the apostrophe to talk about the spider web, because the web belongs to the spider. Do you understand? So now I'm going to repeat it. In the above example, we should use the possessive it to talk about the spider web, because the web belongs to the spider. So it's my car, it's his car. Is that correct? Okay, it's my car, it's his car. Is it correct? So possession, right? Possession. Okay, so since the spider is an animal, so it's web. Okay, not his web. Okay, it's its web. So it without the apostrophe here is a possessive version of a pronoun. Okay, so now let's go to the next slide. It with an apostrophe is a contraction. Okay, what is a contraction, guys? Contraction is when you bring two words and you shorten them, you make them smaller. Okay, so you bring large words and you contract them to be very small. So it could be it is or it has. Okay, so it here is a contraction. When you say that apostrophe, the it with apostrophe, really, when you see apostrophe generally, I think I'm going to talk about that later. So let me not go into this. I'm going to make a class about all apostrophes, how to know apostrophes. But let's focus on the subject at hand. Now, it with an apostrophe is a contraction, okay, of it is or it has, okay. When talking about the beauty of the web, we are saying that it is very beautiful web. Therefore, we should use the contraction it's with apostrophe instead of its, which is a possessive. Okay, so I hope you see the difference now. So remember what I told you. It's not how you speak it that matters. It's how you write it, because you could speak all you want, but if you cannot put it into writing, it becomes, that's, you know what it is. So it becomes a really big blow. And this is where a lot of English learners and a lot of English speakers too have these difficulties, because they could not understand, they could not even grasp how to, put the things they speak into writing. And people say, yeah, of course, I know how to speak. Speaking is what's most important. Yeah, speaking is important. But then, when you have to write, what happens? So, there is nothing too important. Yeah, it's good to communicate. But you also need to put what you communicate into paper. Or at least know when it's right when you say it. For example, I don't want to read. I don't want to write it. But I know when I'm using autocorrect, for example, to write something, I should know that what something I'm using is very correct. So these are just the little things you need to pay attention to for you to actually become you become a master. Not a master. You become eloquent in English. Like I tell people, don't try to sound like someone. Don't try to sound like the Americans. Don't try to accent and speak so beautifully. Like when you talk, people like, oh my goodness. No, it's not the goal. The goal is to know how to communicate in English correctly and comprehensively. Okay? This is the goal. The goal is not to sound so educated. No, you accent and you're speaking like an American or speaking like the British doesn't make you educated. It makes you wanna be, because it's not your language and you're trying to sound like someone else. So I usually see people who try to do that, trying so hard, because it needs to come natural. Okay, so the goal is to sound comprehensively and correctly. Okay, it's not to sound very American or very Canadian or very. People that try to do this, oh my goodness, they get to my it's like, oh please. Okay, so they get on my nerves like a lot. So now I hope you've been able to see the difference between the its and the its. Okay, so remember guys, its without apostrophe is a possessive version, while it's with an apostrophe, it is or it has. Okay, so next guys, now let's go. So if you are not sure when spelling if you're not sure which spelling to use, it's or it, try adding it is or it has to the sentence. Okay, so when you're very confused, you're trying to write something, and for example, you're trying to write maybe the spider web. So you're trying to say something like that, and you're not sure when to use it. Just try to use it is or it has, and then read that sentence out loud. If it sounds outrageous, it probably is outrageous. You understand? So that's why you need to really pay close attention when you're writing, because I read a lot of essays and I see these mistakes, and that's why I want to make this series of class, because we'll be able to correct these classes, because I want you guys to know how to speak better. Okay, and more importantly, I want you to know how to listen, comprehend, and what to speak. Okay, so you know how to write, listen, comprehend, and speak, and which is our 4 P's here in Microcamp, where we focus on speaking, writing, grammar, and what. You know the rest. Okay, so now If neither of those phrases works, then it is the word you are looking for. Okay, so when you put it is or it has in your sentence and it doesn't make sense, you know that it is the word you are looking for. Okay, now for example, the spider spun its web. You see, guys, it doesn't make sense. Okay, so the spider spun its web. You see, it's out of the context. It's like out of this word. It doesn't really make sense. Okay, so in this case, the sentence does not make sense, and that's the reason why the correct answer should be what? The spider spun its web. Okay, now I hope this has really helped you to understand how this section works, because this is how you should know how to speak English. When you say something, you should try to practice that thing you say and try to write it, okay, and see if you can actually write it correctly. Okay, now guys, so the correction is the spider spun its web. It's a very beautiful web, which is the spider spun its web. It is a very beautiful web. Now you see how that is easy peasy cover girl. So guys, now tell me, was it interesting? Do you find this topic to be a very challenging issue for you, like when you're trying to write? So I hope this helps you to know the difference between speaking context and written content. So this helps you to know when to apply what and what to apply which. So now let's go next. Now before I talk about the next step, tell me, make one sentence using it's and it is. Please, I want to see you try. Okay, so make one sentence using it's, which is the possessive case, and then it is to talk about something is beautiful. Okay, like it is the contraction. Okay, so make a sentence and send me what you said. Okay, I want to see your sentence. Try. Okay, like I tell people, it's not enough to listen to the classes. You need to put them into practice. So if you could not put them into practice, then how do I know you are truly learning what you should be learning? Okay, so next, subject verb agreement. Now, what is subject? A subject. I am the subject. Remember, he, she, the person doing the action is the subject. I am teaching English, so I am the subject. Teaching is the verb. So when does a subject and a verb comes into agreement? Now, a lot of people have this problem with subject-verb agreement, and we don't know when to use them and use them correctly. And that's the reason why we're having this class, because I'm going to be showing you all the steps, all the things you need to pay attention to, like the things you need to really study, the things you need to know. So these things are going to help you know how to talk better. Okay, now remember guys, the goal is to know how to speak better and know how to write even better. Okay, so let's see. Example mistake. Now, the list of items are on the table. Ooh, you see, when someone say this, it sounds so immaculate, like it's so beautiful. No, like the list of the items are on the table. They're like, of course, it sounds so correct. But it is a mistake, guys. A lot of people make this mistake, and I sit down when I hear this English. I'm like, okay. Kingsley, comma. Okay, and to shock you, it's not non-native speakers. A lot of native speakers make this mistake. I tell people, say, guys, it doesn't matter the corner of the world the person is. If you do not get the technical skills like in the university, for example, you went to university, you studied engineering. Of course, you know how to, maybe chemical engineering or electrical engineering. Of course, you know your area, but that does not make you a pro in English. Yeah, do you know some English? Do you know enough English? Of course, you know enough English. But do you have all the technical skills that you need in English language? Of course not. You need to study linguistics. You need to study, even in linguistics, we have a lot of departments in linguistics yet that you need to know. So for you to know how to speak English correctly, you need to actually know grammar very well. So trust me, I read a lot of books, and one thing that I have learned from reading a lot of books is it improves you, like you naturally know how to say things over time, and it just help you, and you just speak eloquently. Books do that, of course. Okay, so because you read a lot of things, you get a lot of information, so update you know new words like every day, so you use them on your daily or day-to-day basis. So a lot of things really change when you read. Okay, so now back to the subject and verb agreement. Now the list of items are on the table, or the desk, or on the chair, in the car. So now it doesn't matter. This sentence sounds so beautifully spoken, but it's not correct. Okay, a lot of people make that mistake, and a lot of people write this mistake. Okay, so let's see why it is not correct. Tip: the above sentence, the list of items, is one singular list. There is no two. It's a list. Okay, so it's a one singular list. Okay, so yeah, though it is the list of items, but these lists are already written in one list. These items are already written in one list. So there is no two, there is no three or list on the table. So therefore, we should not use are, we should use is. Now, a lot of you say, yeah, but they're items. Yeah, but we're talking about the list. Okay, the list of items. So list, they're not saying the lists. They're telling you the list. It means one list that contains items. So it is not are on the table. The correct word to use here is. Okay? Now, let's go next. So the correction is the list of items is on the table. That's nice, guys. Remember, it is a list, written list that contains a lot of items, but it's one singular paper on the desk. So you don't say are, you use is. So these are little things people do, and it's a problem. So that's why I'm here to show you the difference, guys. So that's why I said when you start paying close attention, a lot of people actually speak a lot of things that are out of context, and the more you grow, the more you become more efficient. Okay, you become more eloquent. You pick people's mistake like here, and it doesn't matter the level where they are. Of course, there might be in the university, there might be university professors. I've seen lawyers. I've seen a lot of newscasters make a lot of blunder, and of course, yeah, it's natural. Nobody's perfect. Okay, so the idea is not to be perfect. The idea is to know enough, and to know enough to know when you are also wrong. Okay, to know enough to know that you to see some things that are wrong to help you sound better and more enlightened. of course. The goal is not to sound American. The goal is not to sound British. The goal is not to sound like Canadian or Australian. The goal is to know how to speak English better. Okay? This is the goal, guys. Now, let's see other angle. Oh, yes. Now, before I talk about gone and went, because this is the most funniest part of it, okay? I hear this a lot, gone and went, and I hear people misuse it like a lot of times. And of course, I do understand. I do understand because it's not one language. Of course, even when it's one language, it becomes a problem. Like I know in Portuguese, I am so horrible with using fui and foi. And I like, okay, how do I use that? How do I know when to use it? But the problem here is most of them are talking about things that already happened in the past. Okay? Went and gone are talking about things that already occurred, occurrences, something that already occurred. Now, before I go into the context of today, let's talk about what we just learned now. We learned about using words. And is, okay? Remember, it doesn't matter when you say list of something, okay? It doesn't really matter. When it's a paper and you have a lot of lists, you don't say, the lists are on the table, okay? Remember that. That's something I just want you to pick, because you read the list you made is written on a piece of paper, which is a similar piece of paper that is kept on the table. Now, next, went or gone, gone or went. Now, what is gone? What is went? Go, okay, so the past of go. So we have go, went, gone. Is that correct? Okay, that's you. You need to know, okay? Is it go, went, gone? Is it gone, gone, gone? Is it go, go, go? You need to know. So you need to go and look at the 3 forms of verbs. That's your assignment. Now, let's see when to use them. Mistake. She had went to the bathroom before they got in the car. She had went to the bathroom before she got to the car. Like, she went to the bathroom before they got into the car. Like, oh, nice. So correct. No, it's not. You know, when people say this, it sounds so nice, it sounds so correct. I hear a lot of Americans make this mistake. Like, oh, she had went to the bathroom. She had went to the bathroom. Like, she had went to the bathroom. Like, seriously? Yeah, we'll see why we don't use this together. But a lot of people say this even in movies, okay? I go to a lot of movies and people make this kind of blunder, like, she had already went to the bathroom before they had got into the car. Like, okay, no shades here, but it's not correct. Now, let's see what makes it unusable. Tip. If you aren't sure whether to use gone or went, remember, now pay close attention to this, that gone always need an auxiliary verb before it. Okay, we use gone with an auxiliary verb before it. So now, auxiliary verbs, for people who do not know what auxiliary verb, they are helping verbs. They include has, have, had, is, am, are, was, were, be. These are auxiliary verbs. Okay, so we always use an auxiliary verb before gone. Now let's see. So went can't have an auxiliary verb. Guys, it is a blunder in both spoken and written English. It is prohibited to use this. Yes, I say that. It is prohibited to use auxiliary verb with went, okay? We can say she went, he went, they went, okay? We went. not had before went. It doesn't, no, it doesn't sound nice, okay? So it doesn't really sound nice. So you need to know that the difference is here. Now, let's see when you need to use them. She had already gone. Oh, do you see how it sounds? It sounds so immaculate, so poised, so correct. It sounds so correct. Okay, so the idea, like I told you before we started this lesson today, is to sound very poised. Okay, so she had already gone to the bathroom before they got into the car. Yes, guys, that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so we use had with gone. Okay, remember have. So the past of have is hard. So we use auxiliary verb with gone, but we don't use auxiliary verb with went. It is not possible. Okay, guys. So, has these tips been helpful today? Now, for those of you who do not understand everything I said, it's your work cut out for you, okay? Because these phrases of classes is for you to actually train your listening, train your speaking, and your reading English, okay? So last week I did a lot of grammar explanation, but I know that this week we need to get into business because it's not enough to know how to use those grammar. We need to know how to apply them into real situation and context. So I'm not going to be putting Portuguese in my classrooms. I'm not going to be using Portuguese to explain things. And I want you to bear with me because it is for your own benefit. You already know how to speak Portuguese. What you need to know is how to speak English. And that is why I'm here. So please go through what I have already given to you, and if you have any questions regarding our classes, please I beg you to tell me. Send me your messages, okay? Send me your messages, send me when you have problems, and I'm always here to help you overcome those aspects. Okay, now just before I round up, what was it we learned today? First, we learned about possessive and contraction. Is that correct? Then we learned about what? We learned about verbs, subject agreements. Okay? Then we learned about the different went or gone. Now, this week going forward, I'm going to be pointing out a lot of grammar errors and teaching you the way to navigate through these errors with poised, okay, with transcending goal. Okay, so with a transcendent glow. Yes. So that at the end of the whole class, at the end of this lecture, at the end of this series, you are gonna be the bump. Okay, so when you speak, people, ooh, who is this person? Okay, so guys, enough of the joke. Okay, so thank you very much for joining our class today. I really appreciate your time, and tomorrow or next time we also have more common mistake part 2 to talk about. Now please, if you have any common mistakes that you do not know when to use it, don't be afraid. You can always contact me and send me this message directly. Thank you very much. Love you. Remember, I am always here for you. Simply à disposição. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye bye. Till next time.